It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ETB. For a list of other fun programming, please check out the albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like That's a Thing, Putting It Together, the Tight Ends Podcast, the Dave Berta Podcast, Press Start to Join, and Emily Missed Out Podcast, all of which were winners at the Canadian Podcast Awards.
It's a conspiracy!
Oh my, okay. Episode 12, Into Darkness. Now, as our time-honored tradition dictates, it's Charlie's birth month.
Oh!
So he gets to read the opening credits.
Oh,
okay,
good.
here we go. I'll just let that first paragraph there. I gave you some guidelines. You know, whatever you want to do. Go ahead.
So I start right back up here? Right here?
Sure, that sounds
it?
fine. You
Okay.
can start from there.
Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Charlie, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything that we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything as usual, because I'm just so awesome, and it's my birthday. Whoop, whoop. What? Can I get a holla holla, yo?
Holla holla!
All right. From my brothers and sisters in the back.
Hey!
A little louder.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. Charging up my subcockles here. Party boy Charlie at your surface. Also, it was a completely legit that one time Andrew played a recording of me consenting to snack time, and I'm sorry if I ever said anything that would cast doubt on that. If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever sudsy chuckles we're going to discuss today, then please check out the resources in this episode description. Charlie inserts those with love episode after episode, and it's your job to look at them if you want to, but it's okay if you don't want to. That's fine. You do you. Lastly, we're a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network powered by ATB. Yay, team!
Yay!
You can check us out online at our website, itsaconspiracypodcast.com, Twitter at isitaconspiracy, run by the Irish Madman, Facebook group, the Instagram, It's a Conspiracy Podcast, run by Greg, email, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/itsaconspiracy. Joining...
Here, give me that.
Oh, yeah,
what are you
take
doing?
this back.
All right, okay, here we go.
Told you I knew how to read.
Joining the gum gabs today is Charming Charlie. This delicate bit of sandalwood will interject as he sees fit, and I appreciate his company. It's hard to put into words how joyous I become upon entering Charlie's man cave. It's a brave new world in here.
I always like it when you enter my man cave.
Now, did you notice that part there? You said something, and I don't know if there was any notes on it about
This seems incorrect.
the consent recording.
That was a deep fake. That is what they call a deep fake.
Now, Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of either of these two things?
Yes.
Number one, cursed numbers from around the world.
Yes.
Number two is fluoride mind control.
Ooh, yes.
Now, subject number one,
Yes.
cursed numbers from around the world.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Now, March has a Friday the 13th. Did you know that that's coming up?
It's true, I do.
Okay, so we'll all be murdered.
Again.
Okay, now if I'm murdered,
first time.
If I'm murdered, will you avenge my death?
Can I have your stuff?
Yes, you can have my stuff, but
I will avenge your death.
Thank you. Okay, now if you're murdered, I will avenge your death.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can't have my stuff.
Okay, no, I won't have your stuff.
Okay.
We'll make sure that goes to your family.
But I get your stuff.
Okay, you can have my stuff.
is fair.
You just have to avenge my death. Yep.
Avenge!
Okay, that's good. And yep. And there's just
Of course.
well, here, March has a Friday the 13th, and that's so scary. Well, at least in Western culture anyway, that number carries a certain amount of superstition due to our penchant for counting things in dozens, like baking, apostles, months of the year, zodiac signs,
Eggs.
and it just kind of feels odd for us who are used to counting in 2s and 5s and 10s and 12s. So believe it or not, the whole commonly accepted rationale for 13 being an unlucky number is that number just feels weird. It's hard to count in 13s, and it just goes against our penchant for I like dozens, I like 10s and 5s and 2s. Other countries and cultures are just as weird about numbers as we are, but we are often astounded to find out that it's not the same ones. For example, you've heard of how buildings in North America often skip the 13th floor for things like elevators, room number. Yeah. A lot of buildings in China and Japan will do the same thing with the number 4.
No 4.
No 4.
That seems a little bit closer than 13.
It does. It's super close to the ground 4. And so there's no 4 floor.
What do they do that for?
They do that for because the pronunciation for the word is eerily similar to the word for death. Number 7, which is often considered the luckiest number in Western culture, is considered unlucky in Thailand and Vietnam, as 7 month or July is ghost month. And the ghost gates open and the ghosts come and the Ghostbusters are probably called in to save the day.
That's who I'm going to call.
Yeah. If the ghosts come, that's the ghost gate. Yeah. Number 8 is a super lucky number all over Asia, and that's why the common occurrence of 8 in Asian restaurant names and the stories, which are true, of people seeking out buildings with 8 in the address or 8 in the name or whatever. But the number 8 is awful in India, as it's said to be related to the 3 stars of Saturn, or Sani, in the Hindi language. It is said to be a relationship breaker and peace breaker, and many catastrophes have happened on the 8th or on dates related to the number 8, such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and terror attacks. These have all enhanced this theory that 8 isn't great. It's hate, but 8, like 8 with hate. Yeah, so it's hate.
No, great.
But 8, yeah. No, not great.
Great.
Okay, 9 and 11 are all feared in Japan as well, because 9 sounds like the word for suffering, and the number 11 looks like 2 chopsticks standing together. So this is often Japanese families will leave offerings of rice to people who have passed away, and the chopsticks are stuck in standing up like this, like the number 11.
Yeah.
And so that's actually really rude to do. If you're in a restaurant, you shouldn't leave your chopsticks sticking out of your rice.
Yeah. You could lose an eye. You could poke an eye out.
That's poke your eye out. And that's also dead people food. So it's like, get that out of there before someone loses an eye or before all my deceased family members come back. Italians are terrified. Just spooked right out of the number 17, because the Roman numeral XVII looks a lot like the word VIXI, Vixi, which translates to "my life is over." 39 in Afghanistan, the number 39 translates to, and I apologize, I'm going to say this wrong, Mordagao, which means dead.
What was that again?
Mordagao. So 39 translates to Mordagao, which means dead cow. But it is also the colloquial expression for a pimp in charge of a crew of prostitutes. So allegedly, these pimps will often request to have the number 39 or Mordagao included on their license plates. Finally, for the Judas Priest fans out there, 666. This is the number of the beast.
And wouldn't it be more for the Iron Maiden fans out there?
Iron Maiden. What am I?
What are you doing?
Let me try that again. So here's one for the Iron Maiden fans out there. The number of
the beast.
The beast. The last book of the New Testament explains that the wise will be able to figure out who the beast is by this clue. His number is 666. There are literally thousands of people who have been identified as the beast, due to associations with this number. In fact, in our backmasking special, Stu pointed out that he's like 666 could translate to like groups of 3, and he was like, that sounds like WWW, as in like World Wide Web. World Wide Web, what? Now, as you are no doubt aware, professional sports balls often have numbers, and the idea of
Wait, the balls have numbers?
The ball players, the ballsmen, or the ballswomen.
The ball handlers.
The ball handlers, yep. Women can be ball handlers too. It's 2020.
They all have numbers.
Yep, they can have numbers. And the idea of what number you'll have on your jersey is a huge superstition all unto itself. Did you ever play sports balls?
Yeah, I got a lot of, way to handle that ball, Tutu.
So, did you have a number on any?
No, it's the specific number. My biggest accomplishment was staring at rainbows during the soccer time. So I didn't get very far with that career, but thanks for asking. If
you were to have a number, like say we're like, let's get you in the XFL right now, what would your number be?
XFL number 30.
30. Okay, good number. That I can even look that up. So my number was 27 during my very short-lived.
Oh, we're so close.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, that's because my
number
birthday,
neighbors.
My birthday was on the 27th.
Yeah, mine's on the 30th.
Yeah, that's why we picked
it.
And maybe that's why we're going to come to something here, and maybe this is an opinion time thing, but yeah. For example, we're going to talk about the NHL. In the history of the NHL, only one player has ever worn the number 98. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 2 have ever used Greg's favorite number. That's 69.
That's hilarious.
Only 3 have ever used 99. And of course, Wayne Gretzky kind of like cleared that up. But there was only 2 people up before him.
He pretty much took that off the books, though. Yeah,
he took that off the books. I think, in fact, the NHL may have retired that number. I'm not sure. Yeah, 95 players have used the number 13. You think that'd be kind of an unlucky one? And then in a truly
bad for it.
Yeah, well, because 95 people using that number. Some of these numbers have like 450, 460 people have used them. The top 3 numbers. This is odd. So the most used numbers
in sports
in NHL.
NHL.
In NHL history, the 3 top numbers for being used.
Yes.
Okay. So number 3, 20.
20.
20. Number 2, 22.
22.
And
20 also.
The most popular number in the NHL is 21. Isn't that odd that they're all like 20, 22, 20, they're right around
21.
there. And they're very close together. I think it was like 497 for 20 and 22, and then 21 was like 498. Like they were all right together. That's probably because of birthdays. I know that's an opinion.
I mean, 21 sounds a little like a lucky number.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like a lucky number.
Blackjack.
Yeah. Let's look up really quick. You said you wanted to be 30.
Number 30.
All right, well, let's look up 30 then. You saucy son of a... The number 30 has been chosen by 245 people in the NHL. Yep, followed...
Just wait for me to retire it.
Right after that by 33 is 266 people.
How about you? What about yours?
27 was 348. Yep.
So there's 99 numbers altogether. That's as high as they go on jerseys?
There's technically 100 because you could be 0.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that ever happens because oftentimes they'll give 0s to mascots or like whatever.
Right.
But I think you could be, but I think it officially starts at 1.
Okay.
Which has had 229 people.
So if you have 99 people who pull a Gretzky and have their numbers retired, then that's it for hockey?
I guess that's it for hockey.
What are you going to do?
They'll have to start using letters.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, totally.
And then everybody picks their initials.
Or something else. They could pick vegetables or something. I don't know. Yeah. Well, isn't that neat?
Whoa! What interesting number facts.
What are we
drinking? What are we drinking? We are drinking Dingle Berry Raspberry Brown Ale.
Dingle Berry.
This fruited brown ale drinks much lighter than it pours. The tartness of the raspberry and the rich chocolate flavors balance one another for a smooth and sessionable beer. That's Dingleberry Raspberry Brown Ale.
Raspberry. This is good. It's from
Colorado Brewing.
So it's called Born Colorado Brewing, but it's
Born Colorado Brewing.
Yeah, but it's based out of Calgary.
Yeah, but it was born in Colorado.
Born Colorado, based in Calgary. People in Calgary often say Calgary. Calgary.
I'll call Gary.
I'll just text them.
We're going to cut this bit.
This is good, though. This Dingleberry, and look at that can.
Nice.
That's an amazing can.
You handed me this can, and I was like, oh, are we about to drink a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
It looks like peanut butter and jelly, and it looks like a really juicy logo. Like it looks like a Gushers fruit candy thing.
That's gushing.
Yeah. Gushing. And this is good. It's raspberry, but it's very good.
Raspberry.
Yep. I don't know if it says Dingleberry. So is it made with dingleberries or raspberries?
Well, I hope it's not made from real dingleberries.
When you get a dingle and a brune in the room together, naturally a dingleberry is born. Brewed with love from Jeremy Dingle and Ellen Brune. Pairs well with berries and bums.
Berries and bums.
That's what it says on the can.
I'm reading it right off the can.
Pairs well with berries and bums. What do you suppose that's supposed to imply?
No, that's crazy.
That is crazy, man. That's what it says on the can. Well, anywho, that's a mystery.
That's something else.
I guess that's going to take us to ad spot number 1.
What?
This episode is brought to you by Taproot Edmonton, your source for curiosity-driven coverage of our city, cultivated by the community.
Taproot publishes weekly roundups on a variety of topics, including media, food, tech, and arts, and music, and also regional news.
Taproot's curators gather up the headlines and happenings on these files and deliver them to your inbox.
You can get 1 or 2 for free. If you want more, become a Taproot member. Then you can get as many as you want, plus other perks for just $10 a month or $100 a year.
That's an amazing deal. This is going to help you figure out everything that's going on in the city. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Yeah. Get informed at taprootedmonton.ca.
Yay!
Alrighty, that's going to take us to Monster. Charlie Scream's Monster of the Week.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah.
Monster of the Week.
For my brothers and sisters in the back.
What? And all that other nonsense. Okay, if I got a treat for you today.
Oh, I'm excited.
So you gave me a rough subject matter to go and find.
Rough.
Rough. So I went out and found one with a great name. Homomimus dentata.
Oh.
Homomimus dentata.
All right.
Can you guess by the name Homomimus dentata what this is?
Homo sticks out. I'm sure homo minus means like the same minus, and dentata is some kind of tooth-related injury of some kind, like maybe a tooth that's come to life.
Maybe.
Okay.
That's your guess?
Sure.
Homomimus dentata, or the tooth fairy, has no teeth. In fact, to all intents and purposes, they do not have any equipment in their heads besides a large sphincter mouth. This highly dexterous opening is how they consume food. Homomimus dentata do not have a penchant for human teeth, despite the mythology. It's believed that the story originated when a large specimen attempted to attack a small child's face, prying teeth and gums from the mouth with its sharp limbs. They are vicious and cunning creatures, which is ever more clear from the specimen presented here. And here's a picture of the Homomimus dentata.
That looks like
the tooth fairy.
a lunch lady and a velociraptor had a baby. Just. We'll make sure we include a picture of that.
Here's
on
a
the Instagram.
face.
Okay.
Face with the sphincter mouth.
And its brain is coming. Is that brain or hair? Is that hair?
I don't think it's hair.
So it's brains.
hair. No, I don't think it's hair.
And no teeth, but something sharp in there.
Yeah.
Something. just.
It's a form of insect with an exoskeletal armor.
Exoskeletal armor.
It's got exoskeletal armor, and they are a hive-building species. So that was a thing that was found in a crate. In 2006, a London townhouse was due for demolition. But when the house was being emptied, a large number of sealed wooden crates were found. A trust was formed and tasked to analyze the content of these crates, which had been untouched for over 60 years. What they had found were the life works and collections of Lord and Professor Thomas Marilyn, a crypto-naturalist, xenoarchaeologist, and fringe zoologist. A man who was supposedly 160 years old when he was last seen in 1942.
And he disappeared.
And he just disappeared. The collection formed an incredible museum of taxidermy dragons, forest people, werewolves, and vampires. Yeah. So all these specimens are now exist in a museum.
A museum.
So you can go to Maryland Cryptic Museum and check them out.
And see them.
Go see them at the museum. There's some pretty crazy stuff in here.
That looks crazy.
Including the Homomimus dentata.
Ooh, it does have a scary skull with a brain sticking out of it.
That's right. It definitely looks like a creepy brain fairy.
That's going to take us to ad number 2.
Ad number 2. The Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB, is happy to be partnering with Seat Giant to offer you a deal on tickets to major sporting events, big concerts, popular theater throughout North America, and more.
Whether you're at home or on vacation, check Seat Giant for tickets to the hottest events. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, the upcoming CFL season, John Cleese, Oprah Winfrey, Hamilton, Book of Mormon, etc.
Ooh, visit SeatGiant.ca to find tickets.
Use the promo code APN at checkout to get 5% off your purchase. You'll save a bit, and the network gets a little cut of that purchase too.
All tickets are in Canadian dollars, even for the events that are in the U.S.
Seat Giant is Canadian owned and operated, and it guarantees every ticket.
So help yourself to a great experience while helping the Alberta Podcast Network and a Canadian-owned business. Visit SeatGiant.ca and use the offer code APN.
And we're back with subject number 2, Fluoride Mind Control, Part 1.
Part 1.
Part 1. Now, Charlie, what kind of teeth do you get for $1?
What?
Buck teeth. Now, you're probably wondering why I look extra handsome tonight.
Yeah, why?
Because I just got my teeth cleaned the other day. So it was a lot like getting the barnacles scrubbed off the poop deck. Slick and shiny.
I wish someone would scrub the barnacles off of my poop deck.
Well, hey, later on I can... I also got the chance to do the old school Flouride swish.
Yep.
And my, oh my, was it nasty. When was the last time you did your Flouride swish?
Over a year ago, but probably about a year ago.
Are you a fan of that taste?
No, not necessarily.
Do you like the way your mouth feels afterwards?
I mean, I like having clean teeth.
Okay. But you don't. Yeah. But your teeth are usually scrubbed down by that point.
Yeah, that's one of the last things to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, usually they're like, we'll give you some fluoride now, and a year from now, we'll give you some more.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're giving you a cup of chemicals to control your brain.
Well, you're not supposed to swallow it.
You're not supposed to swallow it because it's really dangerous for you, but it's in all of our drinking water. Anyways, that's the theory. So it's like, hey, here's some fluoride. Now, this truly is one of the greatest black holes one can wander down when looking into all things conspiracy related. This will be a very brief overview of a few aspects, and we will return to this in subsequent episodes. There's like little branches of this. Supporters of this theory...
branches.
The fluoride branches, that's right. Supporters of this theory believe that governments put fluorides into our water in order to control the public. It might be something to keep our brains from working good, population control, addictions... social controls, etc. It's there to help influence us in a negative way. It might be the big cereal companies, big pharma, the Illuminati, or the escaped Nazis still running the world from their base on the moon. That's a real theory.
You know, I love it when you call me Big Pharma.
The main reason we have fluoride in our water, the government claims, is to help with the basic dental hygiene of the country. Having our drinking water supply boosted with this will cut down on tooth decay and cavities as a whole for the population. And this claim was made originally by an industrial scientist working for a chemical company called Alcoa, who happened to have an unlimited supply of toxic waste due to their
unlimited supply
due to their aluminum production.
Boy, did they luck out.
They sure did. And it was, we'll talk about this in a second here. So at the same time, Alcoa was introducing North America to this concept. The rate of fluoride pollution was going up due to WW2. So all this aluminum production, and they're like, we got all this crap kicking around. We got fluoride being built up because of this aluminum.
Right.
What are we going to do with it?
Sure.
So it's a strange coincidence that a massive company had a huge amount of waste in the form of fluoride, and all of a sudden it was like, hey, we should put fluoride in the water and it'll help us with our teeth.
You mean that stuff that we're not actually supposed to swallow?
That stuff we're not supposed to swallow.
Hey,
let's
just
put it in the water.
That sounds good.
Now, what kind of bears have no teeth? Gummy bears.
Bouncing here, there, and everywhere.
No, about 5.2% of the world's population uses fluoridated water since the 1950s. And the constant claim has been, does this actually prevent cavities? And are there any side effects a la brainwashing?
Well, does it?
That's the theory, man. Now, this decision was made by governments en masse, and one particular sticking point is that it's against the individual's will. In fact, a number of dentists and medical professionals have stepped forward in saying that fluoride might not be the best option in this day and age, and perhaps it's time to revamp the antiquated but charming system.
But charming.
Now, a number of extreme theorists run to accounts of Hitler using fluoride in mind experiments and perfected a way of making a population docile. That model, of course, led to Russia and other places of the world where revolution or inaction was brewing. So anytime there's they look back on it and people are like, we were just following orders and doing what we were told. They're like, well, that's because you had fluoride in the water. Now, one long brewing theory is
not
that...
because you were worried about getting killed.
Yeah, you had fluoride in your water.
Just fluoride.
Yeah, just not worried about your family.
I'm so sorry. It was the fluoride.
It's a fluoride.
It told me what to do.
One long brewing theory is that Margaret Thatcher pumped the fluoride into Northern Ireland during the Troubles to quell the rebellions happening and further enslave the people. So she's like, well, bloody shut those bloody guys down with some bloody fluoride and that'll be bloody fine.
It's also true that she pumped to mean iron.
That's what in Ireland, that's what they called Northern Ireland. They're like, oh, you're up to Northern Ireland. And I was like, where? Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland? Yeah, Northern Ireland. That's what they said. It was, pretty funny. Gonna have a shower in Northern Ireland.
What, you want me to use my 9-iron? Sir, we're not even on the course.
Author Ian Stevens wrote, repeated doses of infinitesimal amounts of fluoride will in time reduce an individual's power to resist domination by slowly poisoning and narcoticizing a certain area of the brain, thus making him submissive to the will of those who wish to govern him. I say this with all earnestness and sincerity of a scientist who has spent nearly 20 years research into the chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, and pathology of fluorine. Any person who drinks artificially fluorinated water for a period of 1 year or more will never again be the same person mentally, physically, or sexually. Now, doctors have the Hippocratic Oath, and dentists have a different philosophy.
Hey-oh. Never enough.
What does fluoride do? Well, in the 1990s, if you believe in the 90s, British scientist...
If you believe in the...
Jennifer Luke discovered that our pineal glands, pineal glands will often contain as much fluoride as our teeth by the time we hit old age. Now, this gland is in charge of our sleep and wake cycles and heavily involved with the onset of puberty in females. That gland does not naturally produce fluoride, and it is unknown what specific effects fluoride would have, especially in adults well past puberty. Fluoride has also been seen to affect the thyroid glands, and more than one study has linked it to bone cancer in boys.
Right.
Uh-oh. Now, what do dentists call their x-rays?
What's that?
Tooth picks. But like picks without a, like P-I-C-S. Yeah, I know. Pretty, YouTube in particular has given rise to a lot of internet detecting that insists this chemical is the asbestos of its time, and that we need to get off of it as soon as possible. There are guides to buying fluoride-free products, finding non-fluoridated water, and how to avoid using medications with fluoride, such as Prozac, which a bunch of fluoride truthers, they should be called toothers, but these guys, they claim, they're like, fluoride's the chief ingredient in Prozac. Anyways, we're going to come back to this in further episodes.
Interesting.
And that's the tooth. Okay, now, so Charlie, that's going to take us to opinion time.
That takes us to opinion time.
Opinion time. Hey, everybody, it's opinion time.
Now, Charlie, what was our first theory?
Numbers. What do they mean?
What do they mean? What? How do magnets work?
No, we were not talking about magnets. Numbers. What do they mean?
Andrew, what was the mouse of the week? Was our tooth fairy's Homo minus dentata?
Yeah, you wrote it down.
How scary she looked. He, she,
They?
they.
I don't know.
Were they asexual?
Insexual.
I know they had an exoskeleton. That always makes me happy.
Sexual.
Charlie, our third thing here was
Fluoride.
Does it control your mind?
My mind says no.
So, do you think certain numbers are cursed?
I think there's a lot of power in numbers, but I don't think they're specifically cursed.
Okay,
I mean, I suppose that the brain could lead them to mean any sort of things for you. So if you were so inclined as to think that 13 was cursed, then so be it.
In that regard, let's hold on to that for a second. Say you're like...
Hold on to it. Put it in my pocket.
Yeah, just put a pin in it for a second.
In my pocket.
Say you had some kind of tragic loss a Thursday. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, no, that was brutal. And then the next tragic loss in your life was also on a Thursday.
Yeah, these fucking Thursdays are ticking
and then
down.
The next one was on a Thursday. And then something was looming in your life, like someone was sick or whatever. And you're like, I know it's going to be this Thursday because every other Thursday has been the death day.
Sure.
Do you feel like is there power in that? Or is that just a weird, because you've only got 7 days a week.
Let me just take that, what you just said,
right,
and change it a little bit.
Oh, and I'm asking you, like, go ahead and feel free to change the subject. Yeah.
A rat in a cage.
Okay.
There are 2 food chutes in your cage.
I like it already.
And if you go to one food chute and you press the thing, a nice little tasty pellet comes out. Oh. Nom, 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 nom. You eat that pellet. Nom, 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 nom. You go over to the other one, expecting the same sort of tasty pellet, you get shocked.
That's right.
So that shock is Thursday. So you start to learn that if something happens over here when I go over here on Thursday, like that's Thursday. You know what I mean? Like that's just because bad things happen on Thursday doesn't mean that Thursday is bad. But if someone gets enough bad things happening on Thursday, they're going to believe that it's,
and they might even create.
It's a Thursday state of mind.
But it's also like, honestly, like I didn't know this, and I did this all the time by accident, but saying
I hate Mondays.
Yeah.
Total Garfield thing.
Totally. Actually, can you look it up really quick? The word the word for in Japanese and the word for death in Japanese. Can you open these two things up?
Boom.
Yeah. See. Okay. So the number 4 in Japanese, so ich ni san shi.
Yep.
I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but ich ni san shi. And I'm probably saying it like I'm like 1, 2, 3, death. But so there must be a different pronunciation.
That's pretty metal of you.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
1, 2, 3, death.
And so all the time they'd be like, oh, what day? Like what time are you coming back to the school or whatever? And I'd be like, on the 4th. But everyone would laugh because they'd be like, oh, on death day, this clown.
You're coming on death day.
Oh, that's so dark. Yeah. So she means death, but she
also 4
means 4, and in the pronunciation you can tell. So can we just pull this up here? So here we're going to play the pronunciation for the word 4.
She.
Here's the pronunciation of the word death.
She.
So I'm going to put these back to back in a little bit of editing magic. Here's 4.
She.
Here's death.
She.
Okay. Now I don't know about you, Charlie, but these sound really similar, right?
She.
Yeah. So it's hard for us to be like, which one's which? And when we're like, number 4, or does it mean death? It's like quite different concepts. So yeah, you're kind of throwing around, hey, I'm off to, somebody's 4th birthday party. And then you accidentally say, I'm off to their dead body.
Death day party.
Yeah, their death day.
Their death birthday.
Okay. Are the tooth fairies real scary things that might be in that guy's house in the museum?
Unfortunately, I think that guy's just an awesome, creator of these taxidermy things. And I would kill to go check out that place. That place looks dope.
We should go see him.
Yeah, go museum.
You go museum.
Could you imagine if you're just minding your own business out on your porch drinking a tall glass of lemonade and one of those sphincter mouth things flies up to you and starts trying to get at your teeth and gums?
That's one of those things you don't want to think about.
So yeah.
Well, it's not a bloody rump.
You got to get
to Maryland
Cryptid Museum on your 2C list.
Where is Maryland? And we're not saying Maryland, like wherever that is, but this is Merrylin, like Mary and Pippin Lynn.
The Maryland Cryptid Museum.
It's in bloody London.
Maryland, London.
I think we knew that. I think at the beginning of that article it said a guy in London.
It's true.
England.
Aye. Creepy skeletons of winged humans, bodies of mythical creatures, and even aliens have been unearthed in a London home.
Shooting holes isn't opinion time. Pow, 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 pow. Now where were? Oh yes,
I love the rustle of your.
Okay, now do you think that fluoride is used as a mind control?
No.
Do
I think that it's great to have in the water? I don't know. I don't really know too much about that kind of thing.
This is going to be part 2. Does fluoride actually
Does
work?
it do what it's supposed to do?
Because that's the big debate. And I'm like, oh boy, because there's another part that's like, some countries don't have fluoride, and they're like, we've never had fluoride.
Our teeth
and
are still fine.
We have better teeth than you guys do.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, totally.
And also independent thought?
What's that?
What?
We have fluoride in the water. Independent thought does not compute. So, and you're supposed to spit it out at the dentist. I know that's like straight up fluoride, but
do you swallow it?
I don't.
That's not good for
I
you.
hate the feeling. I can feel it in my eyes every time I just like.
What flavor do you get?
Well, the dentist I go to, they're like, "Do you want like watermelon or bubble gum?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure those are both the same."
I ask for a half and half.
That's good. And they pull out like a little mini bar, just like
that's right.
half and half. It is half and half. Thank you. That's going to be
on the
my
rocks,
go-to.
please.
Yeah, fluoride. We'll come back to this, but there are some interesting things here. But the fact that fluoride is, that thing with the guy being like or the lady, I'm sorry, the lady in Britain saying, the pineal gland ends up just being choked with fluoride, just like that's not so good if you're old. But I mean, if we've been, our bodies probably just get like weird stuff stored in odd places, like an old house, just like, well, I don't know where to put this. We'll put it there. By the time you hit that age,
you got to get that pineal gland emptied of all your fluoride.
Well, if it's only for puberty and you're like 90 years old, so it's sitting there empty, like, I don't know. Your body knows what to do, but it's weird. I don't know. Yeah, that's an odd one. But do you think that the government would include something in the drinking water to make us like docile, just like, meh, whatever. Go ahead,
Andrew. The government only has our best interests at mind.
I guess that is the main thing. Because I'm like, they got our money. Like they can just control us with our money. They don't need to they don't need to go to the hassle of the
but it's
fluoride.
so much easier.
I think it'd be easier just to control our money.
Yeah, why not do one? Why do one when you can do both?
Maybe they do both. I don't know. I'm saying
you can have it all.
I'm applying Occam's razor.
I mean, not you.
They just control our money, and that controls us. We're like, okay, I can't afford to live, but okay, I'll play this game. But yeah. So you think they could? Maybe not fluoride, but would they be okay with doing something to control the population? Do you think?
Not that we'd ever find out. No, they would not do anything unbecoming of themselves towards us.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
I feel like you're using
I thank you not to ask anymore.
Font right now. Okay.
I thank you not to.
Okay, so I have one more tooth joke here.
Oh.
So knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
Dishes how I talk since I lost my coof. Well, shut my damn yapper. Wasn't that an adventure from a place of harmony and love together?
Shut your own damn yapper.
We really do appreciate you stopping by for a listen. And please feel free to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your neighbor, spread the good word. Okay, so just a quick fun review that someone left. Nimmers1 said, fun show with entertaining hosts and great stories. Isn't that nice?
Fun.
Yeah, just real fun. That's always really nice. So we love hearing from you guys. So if you'd like to write in, go ahead. If you'd like to leave a review, that's awesome. And if you'd like to just chime in and say hi on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you like.
You know what? I think we need to celebrate this moment with a Twinkie cheers.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I finally found these mythological Twinkies.
Open it up.
Get it out of its wrapper. Unwrap that Twonky.
It's opening itself. It's going for my jugular. It's got a sphincter opening. It's sucking on my teeth.
So here's a Twinkie cheers.
Twinkie cheers.
To
Nimmers.
Nimmers1.
Thank you, Nimmers1, for leaving us a nice review.
Twinkie cheers.
Twinkie cheers.
I can't believe you just downed the whole Twinkie. One and done.
You can check out all of our past episodes at social media at It'sAConspiracyPodcast.com. And we will be back on March 12th with St. Patty's 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Now, thanks for listening and take care.
Bye. Potty boy Charlie at your surface. Yes.